Welcome back to Under Oath. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman. Sitting next to me is James John, my friend, fellow comedian, ridiculously talented guy. Everyone always asks when they comment about the show, they go, do you know the questions before they're asked? James picks these things up maybe 2 seconds before he reads them.
I do.
And then hits me with them. So if you ask me, do I have time to research it? No. Have I practiced law for 30 years? Yes. Have I taken a ridiculous amount of bars? Yes. Am I licensed in 18 states? Yes. Have I done radio shows and I'm used to answering questions really quickly? Yes. But I do not know. I do not know what's in his hand. So instead of talking a bunch of nonsense and being funny till later, hit me with this one.
Okay. You ready for this one?
No, but go ahead.
Okay. I love it. Now, this is a little morbid, but it's a great scenario. Okay. Now, this is going to be out of New York City.
New York City?
Yes. Okay. My 5-year-old daughter was hit in the face by a figure skater's blade at a crowded NYC rink where spins are prohibited, resulting in 12 stitches and $2,500 in medical bills. Do I have legal recourse?
Against who?
That's my question.
Okay. Notice that's very important. The first question I ask is, who is responsible? And that's based every case. Every legal case that deals with an accident has basically 3 things you deal with. 1, who is responsible. 2, what are the damages? And 3, how much insurance is available or other funds to pay for it.
Okay.
So that third one is important because let's say the person who caused the actual damage has no funds. The rink itself might have an insurance policy.
Okay.
Okay. That might cover your medicals.
Right.
Now, is the rink responsible? Well, you can have a rule that says no spins. But if you don't stop people from doing it, there's no enforcement of the rules, you could be responsible. Like if I have a rink, there's 300 people and I have nobody watching this rink. Oh, well, there was a sign that said don't do it. No, it's my job to make sure people are safe and also to make sure that unsafe people weren't doing unsafe things.
Correct.
So that could come into play. Now, if this was just one guy happened to get up, put on his skates and do some weird stuff quickly, it'll be difficult to hold the rink responsible.
Got you.
But if they had nobody watching it, that's a problem too. So a lot of people will say that's unfair. It's unfair to go after a business for that. There are things that are inherently dangerous.
Okay.
Anything that involves a physical act, like a trampoline place.
As a parent, those scare the living bejeebies
Those
out
places,
of me. Yeah, man.
People break stuff every day.
All the time.
All the time. They get hurt. They smack their heads. They get concussions.
Yeah.
And that's why their waivers are beastly. And that's why they have a bunch of people always out there going, don't do that. Don't do that. Be safe. You know, they always have like 4 or 5 people working the trampoline area.
And telling you, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because they know the more dangerous something could be, the more supervision you need.
Correct.
So in this scenario, yes, it's something that needs to be supervised. And it's always been that way.
Yes.
Now, I'm old. I grew up with roller skating rinks.
Oh my God.
There were guys who worked at the roller ring and they would say, slow down.
Yes.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Because it was inherently dangerous. They don't want you to hurt yourself, but they really don't want you to hurt others.
That's right.
I hate these cases where a kid, like when you said it, you said 5-year-old. I was going, God, please don't be permanent.
Yeah.
Because these kids are going to be tortured for the rest of their life. Especially, I've seen dog bites, for example.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And kids, they don't know that dogs can be vicious at times. They don't know cats can be vicious. A cat will scratch your face.
Yes.
And those injuries sometimes last forever. What's that big claw thing on your face? And they don't heal because they're jagged cuts. They're not clean.
No, they're not.
A dog bite is not clean.
No.
And, you know, the saliva and the infections that are caused by these things. And you could have multiple surgeries. You could have so many things going on. So yes, you need to immediately call an attorney and figure out what you do. I've had roller skating rink cases before where they were improperly supervised. And I feel bad for the businesses, but you have a job to protect the people who come.
I agree with that.
It's like a hotel has a duty to protect the people there. So if you get mugged in your hotel room or get mugged in the elevator, what kind of security did you have?
You had none.
They have a term called negligent security. And that applies for safety issues of dealing, I was harmed. Now, it's an offshoot of not supervising an area in a situation like this. But yeah, they need to look into it. If it was a weird one-time thing and they had people out there, but if this guy is always there doing that,
I was going to ask.
They're done.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
I was going to say, let's say the guy's always there. And let's say at that point in time when he does cause an accident like that, can that guy be trespassed, never come back?
Yeah, the business has notice.
Okay.
And people go, it's unfair. It's a public place. It's not public.
No.
It's a private
That's a
place.
business. Yeah.
Now, even places that are pseudo-public, like, they have roller rinks, ice skating rinks on like New York and places like that. You can't go out there without paying.
That's right.
You can't enter. There are a lot of facilities that are owned by government that doesn't make it a public place.
That's right.
And they can say, we can tell you no. So yeah, be careful with this. I'm terribly sorry about your daughter.
Yeah, it's a horrible accident to happen to a child.
It's a nightmare situation.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time, and I see these children, and it's when you say you've been scarred, it's not the scarring that's the worst part about it. It's that they're always subconscious about it. It doesn't go away. Well, you could use lasers.
It's not.
I was at a poker table the other day, and you can't see it. Maybe you can see real quick. I have a scar on my head, and it was from cancer, and they had to take some cancerous stuff out of my head. And I was really subconscious about it, and I don't think about it every once in a while. I very rarely do.
I didn't even notice until you said something. Yeah.
Because it healed pretty well. This guy at the card table in Vegas, he is drinking. He reaches over and touches my forehead. He goes, "How'd that happen?"
Wait a minute.
And I hadn't thought about it in a long time. I'm going, "What are you talking? Oh, the scar, man." I didn't want to depress him.
Yeah.
But I said it was sun cancer. I got skin cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's kind of depressing.
You brought it up.
I didn't mean to make you feel bad, dude. But then again, I didn't poke you in the testicles and go, "What's going on here?" People, and forget
People
young
are cruel.
kids.
Yes.
This guy was a grown ass man.
Yeah.
Imagine if I had this in high school or as a kid, and what nicknames do you think they'd make from you?
Oh gosh.
So yeah, it sucks for a child to have to suffer that because it never goes away. And even when they're an adult, I'm sure their first date, how'd that happen? Because you forget about it unless
unless people keep reminding you.
Yeah, and then you're always thinking about it. Going, okay.
And like you said, who are you going to sue? If you don't sue the rink and you try to sue the person, what if they don't have anything?
No money.
It's no money.
There's a term called blood from a stone.
Oh, wow.
And everyone always comes to me. They go, "Well, I want to sue this guy. He hasn't got anything." And depending on the state you're in, there are a lot of protections. Like there's homestead protection in Florida, which means that you can't take his house.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that guy has, and I'm suing him. I can't take his house.
Nope. I would say the majority of cases, somewhere around 98% of all cases, deal with insurance.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I hate, people. I hate this with everything I'm worth. And please, if you're on a jury, remember this.
Oh, this is good.
When you see somebody suing somebody for a car accident, and they put the person who caused the accident there, and this person is a sweet old lady who looks like she doesn't have two dimes to rub together. The money doesn't come from her. The person sitting next to them was hired by the insurance company. She didn't pay this attorney. She's not going to pay this attorney. She is there as a prop to make you feel bad. Because you'll go, "Well, I'm not going to give this guy the value of his accident because I feel bad for her." It's not her money. The insurance company has chosen not to settle because they think they can pay this person less. So if you're in a courtroom and you see this, it is almost impossible that that person isn't there for the insurance company. So be aware of that. And also understand we're not allowed to tell you that in a courtroom. In fact, it'll mistry the case if I say anything about insurance because the insurance companies have bought off our politicians. They have bought off every senator, representative in your state to make sure the law is that you can't mention it because they know if you mention it, juries will give the money.
Correct.
They'll give the money.
You explained this to me a couple of weeks ago, and I did not know this. You're like, "James, I don't fight lawyers.
No, I fight insurance companies.
I fight insurance companies."
I've never fought. I took a guy's balloon one time because he didn't have insurance. This moron. And when I say he's a moron.
Got it.
These people paid to fly in a balloon.
Okay.
Okay. It's one of those balloon rides. The guy has the person doing the work, like holding the balloon down, doing all this thing. I'm a passenger. I don't know this.
Yeah.
This lady had no clue. Oh, hold this thing. She holds it, gets blown out of the damn balloon.
Are you serious?
And he goes, well, I don't have insurance, so you can't do anything.
Oh.
I said, really? How much is that balloon?
Ah.
And we went after the balloon.
You.
Not kidding. I said, I'll take your damn balloon.
What was his name? Wizard of
I
Oz?
said, I can. Up? Yeah, no. And he unusually, he goes, well, geez, I want to keep my balloon. So he took care of it.
Oh, now you pay.
Yeah, he had 6 balloons. I was taking all 6 of those things.
There you go, brother. That's how that works.
Because it was unfair.
Yes.
He chose not to get insurance because he knows that the average attorney won't go after it.
Gotcha.
So if
That's horrible, by the way. You're a horrible person if you're like, I'm not going to get insurance because you're not going to go after me if I don't have it.
It's a tough thing. And we've talked about this on a lot of things. Like we talked about that. We got in trouble because people called us liars about the carnivals. And we said that each one of these rides are insured for like $10,000.
And that was a great...
And they're separate companies.
That was great for me because I did not know that.
Yeah.
That was... You got... What we're talking about, people, is when you get hurt on a carnival ride, you can't...
Not like Disney World.
Not Disney. That's not a carnival. That is a theme park. But if you get hurt at a carnival, you can't sue the entire carnival. Each ride is its own entity. So you got to sue the guy running...
It's a separate corporation.
Separate corporation. So you got to sue the guy running the Gravitron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I had one guy go, that's not so. My carnival... Guess what?
Yeah.
Joe Don Danny's carnival might not run like that. All right. But the majority do.
Yeah.
And I have sued enough carnivals to figure this out. And you go, well, Jeff, you sue a lot of people. I sue a lot of people who hurt other people.
That's right. That's right.
The seat comes unbolted, throws my client, 200 yards out of the way. And my client can't walk anymore. Oh, well, we should just walk away. No, somebody's got to be responsible.
Yes.
We are responsible people.
That's right.
So when that happens, we're fortunate enough to understand a lot of different laws and understand the way they're doing things. But understand they're insurance companies. They're not people. Don't buy into that. It's unfair. It's this. It's not. You bought insurance. I have insurance. If I hit somebody, my insurance has a duty to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I pay the insurance.
That makes sense.
And that's what it's about. It's not about attorneys eating caviar.
No.
In the end, it's about the person who got hurt and doing your best by them.
So since you brought up trampolines, I got a question. You being an attorney, would you ever own one?
No.
Really?
Not for 10 seconds.
Wow.
A lot of homeowners insurance policies don't cover trampolines. So you'd have to buy a rider. And then I have to get these parents to sign waivers for the kids who come over to the house and do these things. I grew up on trampolines. I'm old.
So did I.
I grew up jumping off roofs.
Yeah, we did that.
Okay. We were dumb.
Yeah.
I landed face first off that trampoline.
Yeah.
Which is probably the reason I am who I am now.
Yes.
They're inherently dangerous.
They are.
You can't supervise them. Even when supervising them, somebody's going to get hurt.
Because even if you're not home and somebody gets on your trampoline while you're not there, it's...
I love when people say, well, I've had a trampoline for years.
Okay.
And then you ask them, have you ever fallen off it? Oh, yeah, I fell through the cracks one time in the burn I got from the, even the ones that are buried in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because the kid lands wrong. You just land wrong. And I can tell you the neck is a very fragile thing.
Yes, it is.
And you could be paralyzed with very minimal effort.
Like that.
Yep. And you'll go, what happened? I landed wrong.
Yeah.
And everyone says the same thing. I landed wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The speed and force and angle are brutal. So no, I would never own it. I always think, what is inherently dangerous?
Okay.
I choose a car. Ask me what car I drive.
Yeah.
A big one. I have a big solid Jeep.
You do.
I have it for one reason.
Zombie
apocalypse. I don't want to die.
Okay, got it.
I don't want to die.
Got it.
I don't want to get hit in a weird way. Sports cars, and I'm not going to say, you guys are driving around in it, the 2-seaters and everything else.
Whipping around in them, by the way.
Even if you're not whipping around, somebody who's not paying attention, they have a big car.
Yes.
Who's going to win in that fight?
The big car.
Yeah. So I'm pretty conservative driver, and I want to make sure I live the day. Sitting next to me is my partner, Craig Lind. AI. And I'm not talking Allen Iverson.
Love it.
I love it for the entertainment. For business, eventually it's going to blow you up.
What do you mean?
Because people are lazy. They're lazy.
Well, people have always been lazy.
No, super late. Well, the problem in our profession, write me a motion to argue this motion.
Okay.
And it makes the cases
You
up.
talk to any paralegal who's been a paralegal for more than 5 years, and she'll tell you just about every attorney she's ever worked for is the laziest person she's ever met, because before there was AI, there was paralegals who had to do all the stuff that the AI is doing now. It wasn't the attorney doing it. If there was something cited incorrectly, if there was a word missing, if a concept was misconstrued, it was because the attorney gave it to the paralegal to do. No attorney since like 1919 was doing his own motions, doing his own briefs.
I'm not saying that they don't handle the heavy lifting, but as far as the research goes, when was the last time you allowed your paralegal to research a case for you?
I don't like letting other people research cases for me.
Oh, so it was before 1919 then?
No, I research my own cases. I'm not comfortable with having somebody other than myself.
So our attorneys research their cases.
Correct.
Okay. Problem is the new attorneys, AI, they didn't have to go to books to learn stuff.
Well, you've always had a type of AI for your legal research, but it wasn't called AI back then. It was called Westlaw case notes. And so basically what you would do is you find a case note that talks very specifically about your subject. And that particular case note in there, it'll tell you all the other cases that cited it. So that is, it was AI before there was
we can
AI.
agree it didn't make it up.
Correct. It did not make
AI
it up.
makes it up.
Well, it depends on what AI you use.
There's a U.S. attorney.
ChatGPT will make stuff up. Now, if you get like Westlaw and Lexis, they have their own AI. The Westlaw and Lexis AI doesn't make anything up. Those are actual cases.
North Carolina Assistant U.S. Attorney. U.S. Attorney. Big deal, right? U.S. attorneys are big. They're not just like small little podunk people.
Yeah, it's a big...
Resigned after filing an AI-generated court brief with fake quotes and citations.
Oh.
U.S. Attorney Rudy Renter admitted to using AI to rewrite a filing. The brief included fabricated quotes and incorrect case citations. He said he used AI after accidentally deleting an earlier draft and panicking. Whoa, hold on.
You can't accidentally
hold on. No, it's not about accident deleting. What he admitted to is what most criminals use as an excuse for their crimes.
My dog ate the homework.
I panicked. I needed the money. I needed this stuff. He just did what he probably prosecuted a bunch of people for doing. Oh, I just wanted to get home from driving. I just wanted to do something. And he wants to make it seem okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave my car at the bar. I needed to get my car home.
Prosecutors, judges, people like that, when they screw up, they always sound like clients.
It's human nature. It's human nature.
It just feels ridiculously two-faced.
No one wants to just sit down, look in the mirror and go, you know what? I'm an evil POS. Nobody wants to do that. So you come up with excuses.
It's not God, I hate this because you and I used to go to the prosecutor's office when we were younger and say to them, hey, listen, he just made a mistake. Oh, no, it's just not a mistake. You got to teach him a lesson. This guy didn't get taught a lesson. He just resigned.
That's a big lesson.
He quit.
Well, he would have gotten fired. I mean, he was on his way to getting fired. How
many clients did we have that go, oh, we're just going to leave jail? We quit. No, they had to go to jail. They had to pay for their crime.
Well, did he do something illegal?
Illegal.
And here's the thing. Here's the tricky part.
You know what he did? I think it's, hold on. This is what this guy did. He's a U.S. attorney, okay?
Yeah.
So he was answering a defendant's brief. So there was some guy whose freedom was on the line, and he was using AI to prosecute him.
Well, and not just using AI to prosecute, using false cases, false citations, false quotations to make a case to put somebody in prison.
Yeah, somebody could have gone to prison because he was too lazy to do the work. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I can understand a defense attorney being lazy. I screwed up a little bit. I should have worked this case harder. But when your goal is to put somebody into prison, shouldn't you get it right?
You should probably have real cases for that, yeah.
And what do you do? I just
quit. You're not expecting an argument from me on this.
I quit. I'm taking my ball going home. That's what he did. I quit. I'm going home.
Was that it? When was this? Because I don't think that is probably the end of the sanctions.
He resigned.
Which state? The Bar Association for that state probably isn't done with him yet.
We don't know.
Yeah, well, he quit right away. That's his job.
Every time we've ever caught a prosecutor doing something salacious, they never get it. Remember a couple of these people who were hiding evidence, and judges actually got up and wrote letters for this person to the Florida bar to protect him. Happened in Florida. This young lady prosecutor hid evidence, and the bar went after her. Judges were writing letters to protect her. And I was thinking to myself, wow, you so badly want to kiss police officers' asses that you did this. And that's what happens.
She hid evidence?
Yeah.
I don't recall this. Is this a case that you and I were on?
No.
Oh.
It was a big case in Florida where they hid the evidence. And we've had that happen to us. I mean, you remember one of my biggest cases when during deposition, we found out that the agent who was working for the statewide prosecutor's office intentionally kept the tapes from us and said he was instructed to do so. Nobody paid for that. Nobody had to go to jail for it. I mean, look at all these people, and I'm not saying this, but...
Well, are we talking about the privileges that people who work for law enforcement get when they break the law, or are we talking about attorneys using AI?
Talking a little bit of both. Nobody gets penalized for it. Nobody ever has to deal with it. You know, you take away somebody's freedom, we don't care. He'll just resign. He didn't give up his license. He's still practicing law.
For now.
Oh.
I don't know that that's going to continue. At least not. I mean, I don't think the bar would allow some. I mean, they have to at least give a warning, like a written reprimand or class. Well, yeah. I mean, what do you? I don't know.
Take a class. Somebody goes to prison.
What should you do? Yeah. What should you do with him? Did you just throw him out of the practice of law for the rest of his life because he took a shortcut? I mean, how many people take a shortcut in their professions?
I think in a situation where
it's unforgivable when it's a prosecutor. That needs to be the differentiating aspect of it.
We do set the tone. Certain people do have to go to jail longer or anything else because they are celebrities, because they are important, and you want them to deal with it. But we've had presidents busted for perjury, and all they did was lose their license in Arkansas. We know who we're talking about. And this isn't being a Republican or Democrat, but when you're an attorney and you get caught lying under oath, what should be the penalty? You should probably at least be suspended for a year from the practice of the law.
Well, they suspended him forever.
Well, that's because he didn't fight it. He just took the suspension. Like he thought he like Bill was going to practice law ever again. Did you see Bill walking in?
Attorney Clinton.
Attorney Clinton, could you approach the bench, please? No.
Now, Mr. Clinton, I didn't expect to see you representing somebody on a DUI.
Yeah, no, he wasn't worried about that. But people,
my client,
we're very subjective over this stuff.
Never blew on that test.
Here's the thing: we have tried cases.
Of course,
we have seen insanity incarnate.
Yes.
Now we're different than a lot of people in our position.
Are we?
Yes. You know why? Because normally when you're on the billboard, you don't practice law anymore.
That's usually true. Yes.
Yeah, you're not in courtroom.
Yeah.
You and I are sitting.
That's not true for you.
You and I are sitting in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
We're going to be sitting up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee come May, by the way.
Shut up.
We're going to be up there again. Maybe we'll have Judge Gass again.
Oh.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Guys, we had the judge who was basically the judge from My Cousin Vinny. Didn't look like him.
The two Utes.
But if you closed your eyes, man, it was that judge.
I mean,
he was a good judge.
He was a good judge. He was a good judge, but yeah. I wasn't fond when opposing counsel referred to him by his first name.
Yeah. Are you coming over for a barbecue again?
Should you use the word Your Honor in that? What I wanted to do was call him, hey, Joe. I was tempted to call him that too.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't.
Well, I was already in enough trouble. I was in a Bronx courthouse the other day, and there were 4 city attorneys sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'm in another courtroom, never even stood in this place before.
These guys don't even know who I am.
No.
Did you tell them, hey, I'm on a billboard in Florida?
No.
They're probably, oh, yeah, good for you.
When people ask why we do that, they're going, well, if you practice law, why do you have to be on the billboard? And I'm going, there's no difference. Why you choose to hire us is secondary to the work we do. And we've always learned that. We used to have these disgusting billboards when we did criminal defense back in the 1900s. And I remember it said DUI $500. Are you
talking about DUI $800?
DUI $800.
Those were the most effective advertising tools I have ever seen.
They were.
We would go into courthouses with boxes of cases assigned to us.
And they hated us.
All the other attorneys hated us. The judges didn't hate us because they could get rid of like 12 cases all at once.
I mean, but it really is secondary why you choose a lawyer compared to the work they do. Now, what I do notice is it's a coin flip who you get at some of the firms. Like I'll ask, they'll say, hey, I didn't use you. I went to that. Who'd you go with? Yeah, I don't know. Very rarely do they know the name of the attorney who's representing them.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you hire a law firm, unlike us.
Yeah.
If I can sound a little advertising here, unlike us, you hire a law firm. The guy on the billboard of the firm you hired, you will probably never see, and he definitely is going to show up in court on your trial. That's not true for our cases.
We've had some tough ones. I mean, I feel rotten. We had a client.
You've been in almost all of the trials that we've had.
Yeah. Yeah. You've tried some without me.
Yeah, that's true.
But we've had those tough drives. What happens in a court case is that every day you leave that courthouse wondering how you're doing. You know, it's not like TV where a case is done in a day. It's multiple days. And we walk out of there every day going, okay, what'd we do right? What'd we do wrong? What's going to hit us in the morning? What surprise motion is going to be filed? And it happens all the time to us. What evidence is a judge going to toss out? How are we going to get this witness in? We just found out we lost the witness. The judge has disqualified our witness or won't allow. We had one where in a personal injury case, you have to put medical records forward to show, the bills and everything. We had a judge who said, well, because you didn't get it in at a specific time, I'm not going to allow you to actually put it in. So what happened is I had to ask the witness, do you remember a bill you got for $500? Yes. Do you remember a bill you got for $900? And it was ridiculous, but we had to do that. I think it was like 70 times. And the jury wanted to see the bills. Can't show them to you. And these little pieces will keep you from succeeding. And it could just be a single comment. We're not going to allow your expert in because he didn't redo his earlier testimony. And the guy's going, it always changes. It always changes based on new data you get. Well, you can only give your opinion based on 2 years ago. You can't do it based on the new information that you have. So it's all a little silly when it comes down to it. But I think what you do for a living is when you're actually still practicing law, you can talk to people differently. They call you up and they ask you for your advice and you can actually give it and not just go, let me send you to Tony, and Tony ain't going to call you back. I get most of my conversations with people have nothing to do with accidents or anything else. It has to do with something else. And you take these advice all the time. Hey, Craig, can I ask you a question? And you're going, no.
That's not true. I answer the question.
Please.
I don't say no.
Craig will be in the middle of lifting a weight. I just got busted for, let me just get this weight off me.
Come on. Not in the middle of a set.
I'm in the middle of a set. Come on. So here are the rules.
The rules don't use it.
So here's the rules. Do some basic research.
Are you talking to attorneys now?
I'm doing attorneys. I'm talking about college students. I'm talking to anybody because now everything is AI. Google, when you do the search, it's an AI search now. It even says AI search, and you go, oh, really? Now, some of it's ridiculously helpful when the creative process and everything else, but AI is a convincing liar. So you always have to do your research. I got to tell you, I loved the first season of this on Netflix. It was called One Piece. Now season 2 is starting, and we have Camrus Johnson, who plays Mr. Five. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm so good, man. How are you doing?
I got to tell you, I loved you in Batwoman, and I was like, hold on, I recognize this dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah. That's so awesome.
How does that happen? You're like, oh, okay. I'm going to lean into this comic book genre hard now.
You know what I'm saying? I feel honored, man. The fact that I got to play a superhero in a comic book show and then play a supervillain in a manga show, it's just like the nerd in me, which is a lot of me, is screaming with joy every single day.
Now, I write comic books. I get the benefit. I'm an attorney, but I write comic books, and I've done 20 years at Comic-Con in San Diego.
Really?
Now, I can't imagine how great Comic-Con could be for you.
I must have a blast. I won't lie to you. Because I also wrote a couple comics myself, but I never went to Comic-Cons for them. I wrote an indie comic called Tower that I might be doing something with soon, which is very cool. And I did a couple little like one-offs for DC too. But I've only done a couple Comic-Cons for Batwoman. So now that I'm going to be going for One Piece and Batwoman and maybe a Tower sort of prequel spinoff thing, it's going to be fun.
All right. Well, we're going to geek out a little bit. We're going to talk about One Piece, but writing comic books is a whole different ball game because people think you get, miles of stuff. You get like maybe 4 sentences for a page. And how tough is it for you? I mean, was it a learning process? Or are you like going, okay, I'm still learning?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think, before I got into screenwriting, I was writing music. and my songs would be too wordy. And then I got better at consolidating. Then I got into screenwriting and it was too wordy. And I got into consolidating. Then I got into comic book writing and it was the same thing. I just want to say so much. And the trick of it is just saying all that you want to say and then just cutting the fat, trimming the fat, and figuring out how to get right to the point so people can get the themes and the messages immediately. And comic books are the final boss, in my opinion, because there's only so much you can say in a tiny panel, but it really did teach me a lot.
Now, obviously, you grew up with this. You grew up interested in comic books and everything else like that. I mean, do you remember what your favorite character growing up was?
Static Shock. He was my favorite superhero by far. Watching him on the WB really shaped me as a person, because I always say that he taught me that you can be a black nerd and also cool. And I didn't know that until I saw him. He was such a dork and didn't know how to talk to the girl that he likes. But then he would turn on the Static Shocks to turn on the outfit, turn on the powers, save the day. He was so cool when he did it. So he is and has been and will forever be my favorite superhero.
I remember reading the original comic books before the Milestone books, and Static was the lightest of all of them. There were some rough books, and I remember people going, "What is this about?" And it reminded me of The Wire. Those were the way the books were written back then. And then they put it out as like a cartoon. I'm like, okay, this is fun. And every once in a while they take that character and they make him an adult, 60 years in the future, where he's on and it's so interesting to see that character still survive through so many stages. So
and we wanted an adaptation of it for so long. I think we were all the blurs have been asking and demanding Static Shock to come to the big screen for a while. But to your point, being it reminded you of The Wire, the first episode of the Static Shock WB animated series, he gets his powers because there is a police chopper that shoots a smoke bomb into the pier where there's a gang fight happening. And it blows up the toxin and gives everybody powers. And the fact that they were saying that in the very first episode of the show, oh my gosh, there are so many deep stories and themes to this series and to this character. Man, I love Static Shock, bro. I love it.
Now, I know we're going to talk about One Piece. We got some time to do that, but I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to give you something that you're probably going to go, would this work? Okay. I think with the clout you have right now, you could easily ask somebody from DC, hey, listen, I would love to write Static Shock, a 4-issue miniseries. I said, I grew up with this character. This character meant a lot to me. And I think you have enough pull right now that you could ask somebody and say, listen, I've been writing comic books. I've been doing this. I was in Batwoman. I've been this. I would love to do this. I think it's an important character. I think it's important that it gets out there again. And I would love to be involved with anything like that. And just mention that to your agent. Just,
No, I am with you. I do think I heard that Static Shock is in development somewhere, which is really exciting. And I'll also say that many years ago, maybe in 2021, me and Warner Brothers Animation, we were very tight. We still are, just we haven't talked in a minute, but they were my homies over there. And they actually asked me to pitch them a Static Shock animated series. And I had a really, really sick concept. They never ended up making any Static Shock animated show, obviously. But yeah, man, I had a really dope show. So
I'm just saying, you could do a 4-issue miniseries. I mean, it's 88 pages.
Listen, I would love this. I would love it. And I'm going to, after this call, I'm gonna see what I can do.
Put it out there, man. It's just a comic book, man. They'll put up with that. It's not like them having to do all the animation. They have artists, they have colorists, letterers. Having hope.
Good point.
Okay.
I would love that.
So 18 years old, you head to New York, you want to be an actor, the military thing. I spent 3 years in the military, realized it wasn't my thing either.
No way.
So I get it. I get when you're going, you think it's going to be your career and everything else. You do the ROTC thing and you go, you know what? I think I have too much of a character to go in this direction. So I'm going to go to New York and I'm going to try to be an actor. I mean,
That's right.
Is that a scary thing or is it like, I'm just doing this?
A mixture. I'm a big risk taker. I love diving off the diving board. I love jumping off the diving board. So whenever the opportunity to move to New York and live with my great aunt came to be, my great aunt who I did not know and later became her caretaker, I was like, let's do it. I've never been to New York. I don't know the first thing about New York, and I am so willing to hit the ground running and figure it out. And I had a blast. I had your very standard struggling actor story. I barely ate for the first 3 months. I ate only soup and crackers. And then I found my first job working at an ice cream parlor and a deli. And then I got into background work for 3 years, and I was giving coupons on the side of the street. And, I was catering, and I was a waiter. I did everything you can imagine. But because I didn't go to college, that was my college. I learned on set. I learned on the job. I was bold enough to go into an audition, do the audition, and then say, hey, do you have any notes? Before I leave, there's anything I can improve on? Because, what can I do to get better at this job? Because once I leave this room, I go home. I don't go back to class like some of these other actors. This is my class. And a lot of these casting directors and directors, a lot of them being students, were so willing to be like, oh, well, I think you could do this better, or I just had to figure it out on my own, and I loved it.
I get to talk to a ridiculous amount of actors, producers, everything, and I got to talk to Jerry Bruckheimer the other day, and that was a ridiculously cool thing, and I like that even when you're at that level, you understand your job. And for example, you probably have to wake up early to do 10 of these in a row, and people don't realize how important the job is. It's not like, oh, I'm on set and they say, hey, you got to do 20 interviews today. How do you get up for each one? You're going, okay, here's another one. Here's another one. Or is it just like a privilege?
It's a privilege, man. I hear actors that don't like to do press, and listen, to each their own. I get it. It can be draining. This is my dream. Before, when I first moved to New York, I'll never forget, the one thing that I would do every single day, all day, was watch interviews. That was, again, my college. I would watch to hear how this actor got to where they are. And the reason that I got so many stories and so much inspiration is because they were willing to sit down in front of someone, in front of a mic, on camera, and talk about their career. And it teaches so many more people than we realize. So doing this, man, I literally was on set of this project that I'm working on, and I rushed home to do these interviews. And to me, they're equally important. I love this movie that I'm shooting. I actually I'm so happy that they were willing to move the schedule around so I could do these interviews. But I was I have to do these interviews. I don't know who's listening. I don't know how long it's going to exist, but I do know that someone out there may listen to it and feel inspired and feel heard and feel seen. And that's the point of what we do.
I love that, the actors come out, they do what they need to do. And I guess the question I'm going to ask, you're working on this comic book right now called The Tower. I assume you have an artist you're working with on it. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to give you some more free advice. I've produced 16 graphic novels, 60 single issue books, and I've been in charge of all these, and it sucks being in charge.
Yeah, sure.
But here's the deal. You go, okay, I'm going to do, is it 88 pages or is it a graphic novel?
It was 5 issues, 24 each, 22 each.
So you got about 110 pages. And always come out with it in single issue books because they're easier to sell. People will collect those. And then put it into the trade. After you get all 5, then trade it.
That's right.
But it's always a process. And when you think about it, you go, okay, 22, 22, 22, 22, and you got your 5 chapters, but it's so painful because you're just hoping it gets done. The artwork, the artist does the heavy lifting. Okay. You're the jockey. Okay. That's the best way to put it.
It's so true. I actually ended up having 2 artists for Tower. Chris Cross did the first 3.
He actually did my book Tainted.
And he also worked on Static Shock.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chris Cross did my first 3. And then I moved to an artist in South Africa named Loiso Mkhize. He is also just incredible. And I think Chris Cross also did the first cover. Loiso did covers 2 through 5, but then also did the art for 4 and 5. And the mixture of their 2 incredible artwork was just mind blowing. So now I might do a manga, a prequel manga of the comic book. I'm in talks to figure out if that's going to be a thing, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
It's always about finishing the work. That's the hard part. And I worked with Chris Cross Williams for, it was supposed to be a 4-issue series. And I actually wrote the first Image didn't have any black female characters. So I wrote Ant with Mario Gully for about 3 or 4 issues. And
whoa.
I learned the hard thing about that was they are right. You could try to write for a character, but unless you can get really into that character, you don't know if they're doing it justice or not. And I think that's hard. And I think, when people talk about who should write this character, who shouldn't write this character, I think you can be deep, but you have to have a huge amount of empathy to write something outside of who you are.
I agree.
So
I agree. And it's not impossible.
No.
I think, nowadays there's also a lot more collaborating. Like, I love co-writing. Even Tower's co-written by one of my best friends, Kelsey Barnhart. I think, I'm always open to other interpretations and other experiences. And, there's so many characters that I want to talk about and tell the stories of. Right now, I'm mostly writing a lot of black characters just because that's my experience. So I'm able to really dive in there. But in the future, when I'm diving into other races as the leading faces of my projects, Tower has 2 other leading non-black characters. But anyway, I always want to collab with people that know the story, that know the background, that know all that stuff. Because if it's not authentic, what's the point?
It's tough. It's when I read something that I wrote 20 years ago, I go, God, what I didn't know would fill the Grand Canyon, and wow, that character is awful or something like that. Now I'm going to ask a question because I think it's important, because a lot of actors who aren't into comic books avoid them like the plague when they're doing a role. No, I'm not going to look into it. I'm going to take you don't realize this is who the character is. Yes, you can change it, but you should at least know the basis of who they are. When you're doing a character like Mr. Five, do you suddenly go, hey, get me all the books. I need to see what's ever out there. How much of that stuff did you eat into?
1,000%, dude. I think the one reason that One Piece, the live action show, is so successful is because they're willing to say, here's the anime and the manga that you love on screen. I think what happens oftentimes is people take the IP, they take the anime or the manga, or they take the book and they turn it into this whole other thing that we didn't ask about. No. When I'm a huge fan of this, I just want more of it in a different light, and One Piece is okay, I know that you love the fun, I know that you love the silliness, but I also know that you love the actual dark, grounded, real human themes. I'm going to make sure that all of those things are felt and seen and heard in the live action, and none of it goes away. And as an actor in the show, I felt the same. Okay, you like Mr. Five, let me go see why, so I can give you the guy that you know. I want to give you the guy that you love. And it's going to be my own interpretation of it, of course. It won't be an exact, one-to-one, because I'm an actor and I get to have my own version of things. But at the same time, I want you to be able to see him on camera and go, oh my gosh, that's Mr. Five, And that's what the fans have been saying online, which has been so great. Before the show even comes out, they're like, wow, it feels like Mr. Five was taken out of the manga and thrown on screen. And that's why they're so excited about the character, because that's the guy they've been waiting to see in this version of the story. So yeah, man, I watched every episode of the anime that Mr. Five is in multiple times. I worked on the voice to get close to him, close to the English dub of his character. But I also had some other inspirations of other actors, and I kind of mixed the voice and played with it. So I didn't want it to sound too character-y, I'm trying to sound, but I did want it to feel like a supervillain. I had this idea that Daniel Lasker, who plays Mr. Nine in season 2, he said something about there's always a bomb in his stomach. And I like that. There's this guttural, he's so angry all the time. What if there's just something ready to blow at all times? And that inspired the voice a little bit too. So anyway, my long way of saying, I love making sure that the show and the manga that they love so much is respected when I play the character that they know.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you used to ask for notes after you did things. And my daughter is in college right now. She's getting her theater degree and everything else like that. And I take advantage of you guys all the time to get whatever advice I can get. You had practically zero training, maybe some drama classes in high school, and you go to New York, you go, I don't care. How do you fill in those voids? Is it always something I got to work on my craft no matter what? I've got to read. I've got to do these. What do you think the most important thing that guides you when you're getting into a character?
That's a great question. So the first few years of my career was a lot of everything I can do to grow myself as an actor, the better. So if it was as simple as watching interviews, I'll do that. Watching more movies, watching more TV. I would also do workshops and intensives and classes. I would pop in wherever I could. Me and my friends created a sketch comedy show that we perform all the time. So I was on stage. Like I was doing everything that I could, including being a background extra on set, so that I could be on set and learn everyone's jobs and see how things work. And then watch the actors do their jobs and see hearing the lines over and over again and being like, oh, that's why you're saying it like that. Absorbing. When it comes to my characters, the way that I prep, I try my best so my acting coach back in New York, Anthony Abeson, he used to always say that every scene is based on the past, which is true. Every time you're watching a scene, it's like, back on Sunday when you're always talking about something that happened. And even if you're talking about something that's about to happen, you have the prior knowledge that it's about to happen. So it's all from the past. So what I do before a scene is I take the scene, I look at all the things that I talk about that I'm referencing in the past. And honestly, it sounds really weird. I will improvise the past in my living room. I'll just be walking around talking to invisible people. So that way, when I'm doing the scene, you're seeing a memory in my eyes. I'm not just saying random words that don't mean anything to me. If I remember the time that I was in my living room doing that scene, that is now a real thing that happened to me. So that's one thing you can tell your daughter is make sure that it's lived in, that it's real to her.
Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. We got One Piece season 2. It's coming out this month. I'm so excited to see season 2. I love season 1. Also, if you're at Comic-Con this year, stop by my booth. It's 2101.
I will freaking be there.
All right.
I will be there. I can't wait to see you, man.
Hey, take care, my friend. Be well. Well, that wraps up today's show. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman. Thanks for joining us. Special thanks to my two co-hosts, my good friend, professional comedian James John, and my law partner, Craig Lind. This show is sponsored by Kaufman Lind. If you or someone you know has been in an accident, contact us at 407-500-JEFF or 407-500-5333 for a free consultation, or visit us at whenyouneedus.com.